Vans are everywhere. Builders, delivery drivers, camper vans, sometimes people use them commercially, and they also use them for leisure.
Vans can have different weights which require different licensing, they come in different sizes, they've got different speed limits, and it's all things that you need to consider when you're getting your van.
Today we're working with Vision Zero Southwest, CamperKing and the Devon and Cornwall Police to find out more about the law to help you guys stay safe. So we're here at CamperKing, the UK's largest van conversion company. Stuart, nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about CamperKing, the kind of vans you work on, and what it is you do here.
Yeah, so CamperKing is the UK's largest Volkswagen camper van conversion company.
Okay.
We take the Volkswagen T7 Transporter, which you see here behind you. We take that as a commercial van to start with, and we turn it into a camper van with a pop-top roof, a bed, cooking equipment, and it's essentially the vehicle of somebody's dreams. They can go away and take it on holiday and have real freedom from it.
So you upgrade and modify these vans. What kind of mods do you do?
So yeah, as I say, we take bits and pieces out of the commercial vehicle to start with. So we cut apertures for the windows, we add a bed, we add cooking equipment. So that can change a lot of things. It can change the shape of the vehicle, it can change the colour of the vehicle, and it can crucially change the weight of the vehicle as well.
So Stuart, I've got a bit of a double-sided question for you here. What would we need to know as the viewer when it comes to weight on these vans, but also what do you have to bear in mind as a company?
Yeah, so there's one really important consideration when it comes to the weight of the vehicle. What you have to understand is that the T7 has a plated weight on it. Okay. And there's a sticker down by the pillar here that shows you exactly what the plated weight of this particular vehicle is. And I think on this case it's 3225.
Yeah.
So that's the maximum weight that vehicle can be, regardless of what your driving license allows you to drive.
Okay.
So 3225. So when we're taking all of the bits and pieces out of the vehicle, cutting apertures for the windows and taking the bulkhead out, etc., and everything that we then put back in, we've got to make sure that conversion does not exceed that value. One of the key things that we do is that we avoid cutting into the B pillar, because obviously you've got some airbags at the sides there.
Part of the vehicle,
very
that,
important structural part of the vehicle. So we have engineered around that. We've got a solution that means we don't actually have to cut into that part of the vehicle at all. We feel that's the right thing to do.
So with that being said, all that structure, mass and weight going through those wheels, I'd love it if you talk to us more about alloys.
Hello George, welcome to CamperKing headquarters.
Wow.
So this is one of our 3 showrooms. This is Banbury, of course. We also have one in Sutton in Surrey, and there's another one in South Shields in Newcastle. So hopefully as soon as you walk in you can see this is where.
I mean, I'll say, first impressions, I didn't think there'd be this much variety.
Lots of colour, lots of
cool.
options, lots of choice. Let's go and take a look at one of our T7s and I'll show you all about them. On T7, because we have the type approval on the vehicle,
You're going to be hearing people saying type approval a lot in this video, but what does it mean? Before any vehicle goes on the road in the UK, it has to meet something called type approval. That's basically a set of safety and construction standards covering everything from how the vehicle is built to how it performs in a crash. When a van leaves the factory, it's been tested and approved as a complete vehicle, but once you start modifying it, adding seats, changing layouts, installing furniture, you're changing that original approval. And if your changes aren't done properly or aren't declared, the vehicle may no longer meet those safety standards. That can affect everything from insurance to legality and, most importantly, safety in a collision.
we sell it with the T7 standard alloy. So really there's no worrying about load ratings and things like that. But of course, if you want to upgrade, then that is always possible. And I know you know a thing or two about upgrading, don't you?
On that note, when it comes to a camper van, of course, great wheels as they are, but a lot of our viewers, I can imagine, would probably want to change them. If you were to leave that wheel on, it's fine. You don't need to tell your insurance, of course. But if you then change your wheel, sometimes people don't realise just how important it is to declare that to your insurance company. Because if you did get into a mishap and the wheel was the contributing factor, and of course that's where the problem lies.
And speaking of mods, let me go and show you something because I think it's right up your street. Right, so come and have a look at this. This is, I think,
wow,
you're going to love this. Yeah, this is the T7 Freedom, but with this particular vehicle, it's had a collab with Leighton Vans.
Mate,
so it's had a full Leighton Vans body kit on it. So you can see the alloy wheels, the splitter, all of it. Absolutely.
I feel like if I got a van, this is the one I'd get.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Yeah, it was catching a lot of attention at an industry show last week. So yeah,
with all of these bolt-ons, then, is it a similar process to how we would put Revo on our police car? Is that it's type approved? It's it's all gone through the right
Absolutely,
methods.
yeah. So front to back, the whole vehicle has gone through whole vehicle type approval. So all the nuts and bolts, everything in the vehicle, and the methodology about putting it together.
Okay.
That's all been through the type approval process, including the testing of the bed from a passenger safety point of view, and all of that obviously is the sum total of that is whole vehicle type approval. Let's go and have a look. Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
now,
Get stuck in. Yeah.
Right. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm new to the van world.
Yes.
Furniture.
Yeah.
So to me, and maybe the viewers watching, do people sleep in here? I mean, is this for someone tall to stand in? What's the deal?
Yeah, so plenty of headroom, as you can see. Yeah, there's a chair down here that can convert into a bed. 2 people can sleep on that. A pop-top roof, again, that can comfortably sleep 2 people.
Quite tall, so
so
that'd be
yeah,
handy for me,
plenty of room there. And you can see we've got our projector kit attached to this one as well.
Home cinema.
Home cinema on the road.
You obviously can't sleep in here with the bed pulled out while someone's driving. That would be unsafe.
No, that's right. Yeah, you can't do that.
Mate, this is just so cool. I'm actually, if I'm honest, slightly blown away. I didn't expect vans to kind of go to this level. And looking at it now, I can understand why there would be so many individual safety issues when it comes to it. But no, it's cool. I mean, look, loads of bolt-ons.
Yeah.
In the van world, they like to cut things away as well, don't they?
We do like to cut things away. So, in fact, if we go back to the factory, I can show you exactly how we do that.
Now, Stuart, I'm instantly curious. Why is it that people in the van world love to get a brand new van and cut massive holes out of it?
Yeah, I can completely understand. Like, it might be a bit alien to come up to something you've just bought and cut massive holes out of it.
Sure.
But yeah, in order to get the natural light into the habitation area of the vehicle, then the windows are really, really important. Obviously, this is going to be where you're living and cooking, and
For sure.
it's important that when we do this process that we follow the type approval that we've been given for this particular vehicle. So to explain that a bit more, the vehicle is coming to us as a commercial vehicle.
Yeah.
We're not registering it until we've finished with it. So it will go out to the customer and it'll receive its first registration with the DVLA when it's purchased. So, and the important part of that is that it means that they can have a motor caravan on their V5 rather than a commercial vehicle.
Obviously, as a petrol head myself, I like to tint my windows. Is that something you do as well when they've got their new windows installed?
We, as a company, once we put the glass into here, we don't do any further tinting. There's no tinting in this end of the vehicle. So the glass that's in this particular part of the vehicle is dark. Obviously, there's a habitation aspect to consider, but not in the front of the vehicle. So we steer absolutely clear of all of the
It is good that you say that, because of course the rules are, they're very technical, but in short, B-pillar forwards don't do any tinting. I'm sure you know this already, but ultimately, because they come factory tinted, we always advise that of course you shouldn't add any more. But when it comes to B-pillar back, the driver can have any amount of tint they want. And obviously as a van user, you're going to want that privacy that you mentioned earlier.
So this is one of our workshops where we do some of the finer detailing on some of the vehicles, and of course you can see one of the best examples of a two-tone van you might ever see.
It's a nice
on the
colour,
T7.
absolutely.
So white and red, but the beauty of that, of course, is that it's all been spec'd prior to the vehicle being registered. So all the documentation will say that that's a white and a red vehicle.
No, that's a good point. I suppose because they've spec'd it that way, you've sold them the car that way, so they don't need to worry about any of those semantics. But on that point, if you were to say, put loads of stickers on the car, or maybe have your car wrapped, or even go as far as completely respraying it, we often say to our viewers how important it is that these things are declared to not only the DVLA, but also your insurance. But this is really cool. I just didn't think that vans could be this custom, but this is exactly what you're showing me.
No, that's it. I mean, the great thing about this is you do have that breadth of choice, and you can choose what colour you want the wing mirrors or the handles and things like that.
Do you think my viewers would be upset if I sold my modified car and got myself a camper van?
Well, you know, let's see what we can do, eh?
Stuart, thank you so much for having me, mate, honestly. CamperKing as well. Big ups, I really appreciate you letting me come around.
No, thanks for coming, George. It's been a pleasure having you, and I hope you've learned something from us
I
today.
actually have. Honestly, I came here as a complete noob, and I feel like less of a noob now. But what is important to mention, and there is a reason why Owen is not here. Obviously, he's out catching bad guys. You've taught me everything I need to know about how to do it correctly. Let's go speak to Owen and find out about what happens when it all goes wrong. Now, Owen, for good reason, I've brought you down to Vosper's because I'm looking to buy a van, but I want to make sure I do it right. So when it comes to my driving license, what do I need to know?
So you would have passed your test after the 1st of January 1997.
I did.
For me, I passed before that, so I've got what's commonly known as grandad rights, so I can drive different things to what you can drive. But for you, you can drive up to 3.5 tonnes. But the 3.5 tonne is the maximum gross weight of the vehicle, so that includes anything you put in it. It includes your passengers, your fuel, and everything. So if we take you to the weighbridge and we run you over the weighbridge, you've got to come in at under 3.5 tonnes with the vehicle as it was when we stopped you on the road.
That's interesting, by the way, but if I were to go over 3.5 tonnes, is there additional training that I'll need?
Yep, so if you want to drive between 3.5 tonne and 7.5 tonne, then you need to do additional training and pass a test. There's one slight little thing, is if you're driving an alternative fuel vehicle, so let's say hydrogen, then your limit will be 4,250 kilos. So if you want to know the specifics around what you can drive and what we're going to explain later about what you can tow, you can go on the DVLA website on .gov. If you go on there, you put in your license details, and that will tell you exactly what you can drive, and we'll put that in the comments below. Now, when it comes to towing, this is where it can get quite complicated. Now, there's a chassis plate on your vehicle that will give you all the details of your vehicle, like the weight of it, the maximum train weight, and the maximum axle weights. So when it comes to loading your van, there are a few things you need to bear in mind. Whatever you put in there can't be able to move around within the vehicle, and if you've got heavy objects, the best place to kind of start loading them up is up against the bulkhead, because if you put your heavy object here at the back and it's not secured properly, you stop suddenly, it's going to go flying right across the van, smashing into the bulkhead there. And George has got a story about that from his own experience.
Back in the day, I used to deliver milk in a Sprinter van. It was usually loaded up when I got there, but if someone was off or orders changed, we'd take on extra. Every time I braked, you could feel the weight shifting. Over time, with all the movement and milk leaking, it actually started wearing down the bulkhead. I remember thinking, if I ever had to slam on the brakes, all of that could come straight through into the cab. Yeah, technically, it's the driver's responsibility to make sure the load is secure, but in reality, you've got a job to do, so you just crack on. And that's the thing, one sudden stop, and if that load isn't secured properly, it's dangerous. It's not just on the driver. If something goes wrong, the employer can be prosecuted too. So really, everyone involved has a responsibility to get it right.
If you're anything like me, then when driving down the motorway, you probably see vans breaking the speed limit. But I hear that vans have different speed limits.
So generally, if your vehicle is made or adapted for the carriage of goods, then it's going to be 10 mile an hour below the speed limit for a car. On a motorway, yes, your van can do 70 mile an hour, but on a dual carriageway, you're going to be at 60. On a single carriageway, you're going to be at 50. So you need to be really, really careful about that. And if you think, has your vehicle got a bulkhead? If your vehicle's got a bulkhead, then it's going to be made or adapted for the carriage of goods. So that's one thing to look out for. But a common question we also get is about the size of the vehicle, and is it a car-derived van? There's not many car-derived vans available these days because the weights of vehicles have gone up so much. A car-derived van must weigh less than 2 tonne, and we went and looked at the little Puma over the other side, and even the little Puma is over 2 tonnes in weight. And you know, a lot of that with modern vehicles is you've got more technology in it, but you've also got batteries for electric vehicles and that as well. We have found a little car-derived van over there, so we're going to go and have a look at that. But even this van here is not a car-derived van. It's a small van, but it's over 2 tonnes.
With car-derived vans being so unique, would you mind explaining more?
Yeah, so this one's clearly based on the Fiesta platform. It's less than 2 tonnes. You can see that the rear windows have been taken out, and it's all part of the metal of the vehicle now. So yeah, this is a good example of a car-derived van under 2 tonnes, and therefore that would be car speed limits.
As you know, we've dealt with modifications before, and you also know that you need to tell the DVLA. Now, when it comes to vans, Owen, is it a similar process?
Exactly the same process as if you're modifying a car. So anything that you do that changes your car or your van from the factory spec or how it left the factory, you need to be telling your insurance company, because that may affect your insurance policy. But also if you're changing something like the colour, then you need to tell DVLA as well. It's a really simple process. It doesn't cost you anything, but you do need to tell them if you change more than 50% colour change on the car even if it's temporary, like a wrap.
Just to clarify, any changes to your van, you need to tell the insurance company and the DVLA if applicable.
Yep, that's right. You have to tell the insurance company, and if applicable, you need to tell DVLA.
So as you can see, there's a lot to take in when it comes to vans. We've put a full breakdown of everything we've covered along with all the relevant links and guidance in the description below. If you're unsure about anything, it's all there to help you get it right.
Vans can be a really complex area, and we've generalised a fair bit throughout this video. But if you want to know specifics about your licence, what you're entitled to drive, and about the specifics of your vehicle, then please go to the DVLA website, which we will link below.
And if you found this video useful, then you might also like our video we did on motorways. You've learned a lot about the law when it comes to vans, and no doubt, where do you drive it? Of course, on the motorway. So go click this video. Also, if you've liked it, make sure you click the thumbs up. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new so you can be notified of when we next upload, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.